The Masquerade by the Prowler. A letter arrived to the manor this morning by carrier, inviting me to a masked ball. To the lord and lady of the house, you are cordially invited to Bethampton Manor on the evening of November the 10th, 1875. Your presence would be greatly honored and appreciated. All that is required is a costume of some kind and nothing more. The affair shall be fully catered and the atmosphere lively. Thank you for your consideration. Signed, Lord Dermot, Ambershade. Well, I do not know who this gentleman is. It must be the chap who just acquired the old Driftmark Manor. I didn't know they had already moved in, let alone ready to throw a catered affair. Well, whoever this gentleman is, they have very fine taste, evident from this beautifully engraved invitation. The gold lettering, the fine gold trim, my name beautifully festooned on the envelope. Simply beautiful. I shall attend this costume masquerade. A week has now passed, and tonight is the night of the ball. I have everything in order, a costume I am happy with, and believe to be perfect. It will be a black tuxedo, of course, lined with a purple velvet vest underneath, accompanied with black gloves, a top hat, and a long black cloak, finished by an impressively frightening devil mask. As I said, the perfect costume indeed. I grabbed the invitation from my desk and made my way to the carriage. As I stepped inside and sat down, a storm formed overhead. Loud booms of thunder and bright flashes of lightning stretched across the sky. It was now dark, and a chill hit the air from the winds brought forth by the approaching storm. It's not the ideal time to be caught out in the elements, but thankfully my estate isn't too far from the old Driftmark Manor, or the rejuvenated and refurbished Driftmark Manor, I should say, I suppose. The storm picked up immensely on the road. Soon it will be reduced to a mud pit, or completely washed away from the flood that is undoubtedly to follow. We all may be stranded at this party all night, if that's the case. My carriage pulled up to the manor door 10 minutes later. Hail began to fall heavily as I opened the door. It was at least 15 to 20 steps from my carriage to the front door of the manor, and I ran every one of them. Thankfully, I did not have to knock and wait. A servant was waiting for me with the door open. I quickly ran inside, and after catching my breath, the head butler ushered me to the ballroom. Once there, he announced me to the fellow guests. "Baron Nathaniel Abercrombie," he shouted loudly. The fellow guests looked my direction, but went back to what they were doing. They had been hearing announcements all night, and our high societal circle is small to begin with. We just don't get impressed with each other anymore. The room was quite festive. The music was loud and lively, playing the latest waltzes, and the guests were jovial, joking and dancing. I scanned the room. It seemed our host supplied this evening's event with everything. Live musical entertainment, as one would expect from a costume ball. But also in the corner of the room, I noticed a table set up, filled with decadent treats and refreshments, including the finest spirits to satisfy anyone's appetite. I stepped into the crowd, wanting to make my way to the refreshment table to quench my thirst. I know we are all in costumes, but it seems as if I don't know a single soul at this party. The voices I hear come from behind the masks I walk by don't sound familiar. My ears could be playing tricks on me. But I seem a stranger to this crowd and to this place. I made it to the table and asked a servant to pour me a cup of what looked like to be midnight lemonade. It's a drink local to the area, consisting of lemonade and a dark spiced rum. The servant handed me the glass and smiled. Finally, a face I recognize, I thought. It's Jackson, a man who used to be in my employ. Under my mask, I began to smile, seeing a familiar face and someone who I considered a close friend, and not just an employee. Before I greeted him, however, I remembered why he was no longer in my employ, why I hadn't seen him for so long. Poor Jackson died 2 years ago in a carriage accident. I said thank you, but I could hear the tremble in my voice as I took the glass from his hand. A chill ran up my spine, as I know I just conversed with a spirit. As I turned, a loud thunderous boom echoed overhead, and a ferocious gust of wind blew all of the windows wide open, snuffing out every candle in the room. The music stopped, and the crowd became silent. In the darkened ballroom, all that could be heard was the hollow wind, blowing with such a chilling purpose. Just then, a crack of lightning flashed across the night sky, sending a bluish glow through the windows, illuminating the ballroom. The guests, who were adorned in beautiful, extravagant costumes, now appeared to me in ghostly shrouds, as ghostly spirits. I stood there in fear and disbelief. I've been invited to a dance for the dead. A spirit approached me. It was our ghostly host, Lord Ambershade. "Good evening, sir. Welcome to my ghostly masquerade." He greeted me devilishly. As he said this, the music started playing again, except slower and more eerie. Then the guests began to dance again, moaning and shrieking. Lord Ambershade looked at me sinisterly. "You finally accepted my invitation, my good sir. The last aristocrat left in the land. We've been waiting for you to join us, to join our eternal dance, our dance of the dead."